Hiya guys, welcome back to another metal detecting video. So it's been a little while since I've recorded a video, and that's been for a couple of reasons, mainly because I actually caught COVID and I was pretty much out of it for a good few weeks, so I couldn't do any detecting, couldn't go to work, couldn't do anything. Life pretty much stopped. But I'm on the mend now and I'm back and I'm feeling a little bit more healthy, so I am just absolutely itching to get out in the fields again. So today I'm in quite an interesting field. I've had my eye on this field for some time, although I've never ever been in here. It's a little bit of a sort of boggy field, and it's got some very interesting lumps and bumps and some features in there. Now, it's an autumn day today. You might be able to tell by the leaves falling off the trees. It's sort of late October now, so approaching Halloween, and yeah, it's quite grey. Does look like it might give us a little spot of rain. I'm not too sure why I've got my sun hat on, but it saves me doing my hair, I suppose. So yeah, if we do get a bit of rain, I'm not going to be too fussed, because a little bit of water on the ground's obviously going to make any of the targets a little bit more conductive, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, I've got about 4 or 5 hours in here today, and I'm really interested to see if anything actually is going to come out. It's one of those fields that I've always had my eye on, always wondered whether or not there would actually be something in here. And I've got a horrible feeling that they might be planning to build some houses or something on here soon as well. So I just want to get it done, out the way, put my curiosity to bed, so that I know that, you know, if there's something in here, great, I found it. And if there isn't, then hey, we'll just move on to the next field. That's metal detecting. But anyway guys, sorry it's been so long for me uploading videos. There are going to be plenty to come, as I say, all throughout the winter. Loads and loads of permissions, so do keep an eye on the channel. And again, do subscribe if you like the video today, and if you like what I do, hit a thumbs up. It always means a lot to me, keeps me going, keeps me motivated to make more videos for you guys. And yeah, that's enough talking. Let's get some detecting done. I'll see you on the first hole. Okay guys, so just before we get into the metal detecting today, I'm going to do what I always do and bury a coin in the ground at about 6 to 8 inches and see what the best depth we can get on the day is. Now, bearing in mind this field is quite a waterlogged field, so I think we are on some type of water table here, and as you can see at the bottom there is some type of drainage channel that's been dug as well to try and aid the sort of drainage in this waterlogged field. But yeah, it's not making much difference. I think today is going to be quite a tricky one, but I have dug a target down here. It's a very small sixpence. It's a 1836, I think, Queen Victoria young bun sixpence. I've dug it in the same depth as my spade, which is about 7 inches, so it's relatively deep, and I'm just running through my programs to see which one's best. Now, the first one I'm going to let you listen to is actually a custom-made program that I've made using the general setting on the DS2. Now, I've tweaked it a little bit to accommodate for this type of ground, but the general setting is probably going to be the best one today, because it does deal with waterlogged ground the best, especially the halo effects and things like that, which I think I might get a few of today, so I think it's probably the right setting to customise. But I'll run through a few of them just so you can listen. The idea of this test is it gives you the confidence to know that you're going to spend hours of your day going in a field looking for, you know, nice things to find, and you're actually going to find them if they're in there or they're at depth. So that's the benefit of doing this. But have a little listen. This is my customized program on the general. See what you think of this one. So that is absolutely loud and clear, and that is, you know, 6, 7, 8 inches easily in waterlogged ground. Now let's run through a couple of the other settings just so you can listen to them. Okay, so this is one of the factory programs, Deep HC on the XP-Deus 2. I know a lot of you guys out there swear by this program. It's a great program. It certainly has its place out in the field in certain conditions. But let's see how it handles this tiny little sixpence 1836 silver. It's pretty good, isn't it? Coming through nice and clearly, 89. I'd have no problems using Deep HC in here, absolutely no problems. I might want to tweak the tone breaks a little bit just to suit my needs, but that's just me, that's how I like to hear them. Let's try a couple more. There we go guys, another one there ringing through at 90. That's the factory sensitive program on the Deus 2. Again, picking up this silver coin, no problem at all. Let's try another one. And there we are guys, that's another program a lot of people swear by. That's the factory default program of Park. Again, nothing changed to these programs at all, other than the very first one that I have tweaked, which was on the general factory program. So there we go. I know that I'm going to be getting relatively good depth in this field. I've got a few programs I can possibly try, but I'm going to go straight in with my modified general program, and let's see what we get. Okay guys, will you look at that? So this is my very first hole of the day, first target, probably about 10 or 15 feet from the bag, so not even that far. Got a bit of a scratchy signal, about 86, dug it out, relatively deep, say about sort of 5 or 6 inches or so. And it's a little button. Wouldn't say it was a tremendously old one, but it's very thin. It's got the shank still attached on the back of the button. So yeah, I mean it's just a button, but as we all know, where there's buttons, there's habitation. And where there's habitation, there's a good chance of finding something really, really good. So let's crack on. Okay, look at that. So very second target today. And it was quite a low conductor. This signal was probably about sort of 60, 61, 62. And yeah, it wasn't the best signal at all, but I've gone and found another button. And this looks actually quite like an interesting button. It's got something on the front, so it's got a crown, it's got a number 2, and then it's got some letters below it, which I can't quite make out. It's obviously not in the best condition because obviously it's been in this soil, but yeah, that's a pretty interesting little find actually. I'd say that was possibly Civil War era, isn't it? So it's got to be sort of 1600s, maybe early 1700s, something like that. But second find of the day, and we're finding stuff that old at relatively good depth as well, is not bad. So let's keep going. Okay, so we've got another target, not too far from that last button, and I think I've either got another button in here, or it's a coin, but it's stuck in the sort of soil, so we're going to have to pull it out and have a look, but let's do that together. Okay, so this is what I can see, literally just poking out of the top there, so let's see if it's a coin or a button. It's kind of hard to tell so far. Oh, I think it's a button. Yeah, it's definitely a button. That you can see the the bit on the back where the shank would have been, and on the front. No way. It's almost exactly the same as that last button I found. It's got the crown at the top and a number 2 again with RI, or is it RT? I don't know. No idea, but it's obviously got to be some sort of regimental button, isn't it? And maybe it was off the same coat. But wow, 2 buttons exactly the same. It's not very often you get that in a field, that's for sure. But oh well, I'm quite happy with that. I'll clean it up a little bit later, and if I can find out any information, I'll put it on the video. But let's move on, see what else comes out. Okay guys, so another hole and another button. Can you believe that's 4 buttons so far in this field? And again, it's quite another interesting button. It's not got the 2 on it like some of the other ones, but it's got some pretty interesting features on there. There seems to be some sort of like building or fort or something like that on the front, and then just below it seems to be some sort of initials, which I think says something like VLP or something like that. So yeah, not really too sure, but I mean, I don't mind finding buttons, especially interesting buttons like this. It certainly you know, beats the completely blank sort of pewter buttons that you would normally find in the field, and especially like beaten up buttons. So all of these seem to be coming out with relatively good detail. I think I've discovered why. The soil here is very clayey. There's certainly tons and tons of clay just underneath the topsoil, and that would explain why there's obviously a lot of water in the field that doesn't drain very well, which is why they've had to cut these drainage ditches in the field and obviously in the bottom there, just to try and get some of the moisture out. But the good news is that the clay will keep the fines relatively you know, in good condition, because it's not going to move around too much. It will seal it in, keep it away from the oxygen, stop it corroding. So yeah, although we've got 4 buttons, if we do find something good today, chances are that it will be in relatively good condition. So let's find out. Okay, you're never going to believe what I found. It's something other than a button at last. And it actually looks like a coin, to be fair. Very thin coin. It's quite a battered coin, if I'm honest with you. Not much detail left on here. You can see some of the patina that was once on the coin. But yeah, it's very thin. What could this be? This could be 1700s, could be 1800s. But yeah, it's different. It's better than a button anyway. Been finding too many of those. So that's the first coin of the day. Let's hope we get a few more. We've got a few hours left. The rain has still held off so far, so that's certainly a good omen. Let's crack on, see what else we get. Okay, so I've actually had another find. It's not a button again. Woohoo! It's actually a buckle. It's a little broken spectacle buckle, this one. Now, I think this one might be relatively old, for The reason I say that is because it's got these nodules on each fore corner, or corners of the buckle, and it's quite small, it's quite thin, it's quite unevenly made, so it's very unlikely to be like a press mould or something like that. And yeah, this side has got lots sort of like little notches in the top there, which is very stereotypical of a sort of Tudor buckle, maybe very late medieval, something like that. But that's probably the oldest thing I've found in this field today so far, and it definitely means that, you know, there's the potential of finding a lot more here as well. So it might just be a little broken spectacle buckle, but it does mean that we're on the right path, the right track, to possibly get something really good. So stay tuned, hopefully we do. Okay, so something a little bit different. I was wondering when I was going to find one of these, to be honest. I usually find these everywhere, these being a musket ball. Quite a nice one actually as well, not been fired. Relatively old, I'd say this was a bit of a hunting shot, something like that. So it's certainly not one of the biggest ones I've seen, but it's not one of the smallest ones either. But again, it tells you that people were here hunting, shooting, recreational. Let's hope they've dropped some other goodies. But there's that one, a nice musket ball. Okay, so this is quite an interesting little find actually. Certainly something I wouldn't have expected to find in a waterlogged field like this, but hey ho, that's metal detecting, you never know what's going to come out. So this is actually part of an old bronze bell. It's quite a small bell, so it's like a handheld bell, and it's obviously been absolutely obliterated, which probably means that this field has once been ploughed. But you can quite clearly see the bottom rim of the bell there, and it would have gone all the way around. It would have been a really nice shiny bronze bell, this one. Probably one of the ones that you would have held on the handle and just rattled. So yeah, it could have been a school bell or something like that. But why is it in this field? Who knows? But it's pretty cool. Wasn't expecting to find that. And you never know, if I keep going, I might find the other bits as well. So there we are, piece of a bell. So there we have it guys, it's musket ball number 2. It's exactly the same size as the last one that I had. The only difference is this one's actually been fired, because you can see that it's hit something pretty hard on one side. So yeah, was that hunting? Who knows? It would take something pretty difficult, pretty hard to actually put a dent in it like that. But there we are, that's another musket ball. Just goes to show there are still people around here, and I've actually gone into the other side of the field now. Grass is a bit longer in here, but I'm slowly making my way back to the gate because it's sort of cracking on a bit now. It's about 5 o'clock, something like that. And I've been lucky enough with the rain, but obviously I can't stop it from getting quite dark quite quickly. There we are, another musket ball. Let's make our way to the gate. If we get anything else, you guys will be the first to see it. Okay, so this is quite an interesting little find. It's a tiny little horse brass. Can you believe how small that is? Compared to some of the other ones that I've found, which are about the size of my hand. This is a really, really small one. It's got all 4 pins on the back there. No writing on the front, unfortunately. Must have just been nice and shiny. Would have just looked really, really nice on the horse tack or the strap. But yeah, I think that's very possibly the smallest horse brass I've ever found. But what a nice, cool little find. Got to be a couple of 100 years old, that one, isn't it? Really, really cool. Okay, let's push on. And there we are, guys. Another target, very, very close to the gate, which might explain why I've just had a lovely 1895 1 penny. It's in pretty good condition, to be honest with you. Considering it's been in the ground for well over 100 years. It's got a bit of patina left on it. It'll probably have pretty good portrait on there as well. So I'll give that one a bit of a clean up when I get home. I know it's only a 1 penny, but if they're in good condition and you can see lots of detail, it's still a really good find, isn't it? So I think that's going to be it for today. As you guys can probably tell, the sunlight is going fast. It's about 5:45 now. Got here about 12 o'clock, something like that, so we've had a pretty good run today. Do I think this is a good field? I do. I think there's going to be plenty more in here yet. The grass is quite long, so ideally it would be really good to get back in here when the grass has just been cut. But yeah, other than that, it's been an absolutely great day's detecting. The first day out for me in a few weeks. The energy levels still aren't 100%, as I'm sure any of you know that's had COVID. But I'm definitely getting there, and it's just been so good to get out again, get some fresh air. You know, even though it's been a bit grey, it's been nice just to be out in the countryside. So I really hope you've enjoyed that video today, guys. Please hit subscribe if you do, and of course hit the thumbs up if you like the video and you like the permission. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all on the next video.